going on, guys? How you guys doing? Looks like there's a few of you guys on a Sunday morning. Normally don't stream quite this early. Normally in the afternoon, but it's what time I was available to do my Sunday build, so here I am. There is a song about Sunday mornings. One or two that I can think of off the top of my head. There's Easy Like Sunday Morning. I don't remember what the name of that song is. And then there's a No Doubt song, Sunday Morning, right? Those are the only ones I can think of. But today, this Sunday morning, we're about building keyboards. Is the music volume too loud? It looks like the levels are pretty high. I'm tempted to follow that link. Oh yeah, okay, the No Doubt one. I was like, but I don't want it to make that sound on my stream. Just a little bit. I can lower it. How's that? That might actually be a little too much. That looks a little better. Sounds like I'm fighting to talk over it. Oh, okay, well yeah, I definitely don't want that. There's like a million different ways to lower it. Yeah, those levels look like they're okay. What's up, Lagoober? Lagoober. How you doing, man? Yeah, okay. Those levels look like they're a little better to me so far. You know what? It's the morning. So, coffee time. Coffee o'clock, right? Also, 0 boxes given. Or something. TSC needs coffee and bacon. Oh. Okay, well, I didn't get bacon, but I feel you on the coffee. I like bacon too. Anyway, without going, without lagging too long, why don't I show you guys? I'll give you guys the mail call. The mail call. A lot of you guys probably got exactly this in. New desk mat from Novel Keys. Before we get started, just a little quick, anybody who ordered this goodness right here, boop. I only got in on the dark one. I didn't get the light one at all. So that's the... There isn't a good way to show it off. No, it's the, you got this one too? Yeah, this is the Olivia dark desk mat. The light one looked okay. I just don't know if I want like an all pink desk mat. Even if I got like pink boards or whatever, I don't think it would fit most of them. The coloring would really only fit that key set. So yeah. Oh yeah, the quality's good. Whoever Novel Keys is going through to have these made, and all the other vendors for that matter, that being pretty much the ones that I see are Dixie and Canning Keys. They all seem to be pretty high quality. Yeah, it probably would get dirty quicker, and also, I don't know, just it could get stained too easily. That's my take on that. So I got that, and I also got some SMD soldering practicey doodads. They're more for like challenges here. So all sorts of they're really tiny PCBs with like controllers on them and yeah, doodads, little itty bitty doodads. I don't want to take it all the way out of the package because it looks like it's gonna be hard to get back in, but I'll hold that up to the camera. So all sorts of stuff. So you can get these ones came from Amazon, but there's some other ones that I ordered that haven't arrived yet, which are SMD challenge ones. And if you just go online and you look up SMD soldering challenge or whatever, you'll find those. There's this one too. This one has a lot of stuff. The SMD challenge ones have like all the different sizes of LEDs of SMD LEDs that you can get. SMD LEDs are notoriously difficult to solder on because you can burn them up. Headshot Killer 10. You just got some T1 cream housings and some Halo Trues. Would those be considered holy pandas? I mean, technically no. Cream housings are not holy pandas, right? You need the Innovir panda housings. That's for like the original ones. And then there are reproductions of that. Some of them use Yak housings or Holy Jesus. Well, Jesus housings, GSUS. Both of those. SMD soldering challenge lands at DEF CON. Oh, I'm down to go to DEF CON and do a little SMD soldering challenge. But that is exactly the thing I'm talking about. And if you look at that one in that image, if you go down to like the D4 size one, that diode is tiny. Like the smallest soldering iron tips I have are many times larger than that. Anyway, but it doesn't matter, Headshot Killer, what they're considered. If you want to build those switches and they're awesome, like, then just use them. They're kind of holy panda-ish. They are a Halo True stem swap though, so that's pretty standard. They're a holy something. They're like holy creams or something. Call them whatever you want. So anyway, they were building a customer's board with holy pandas that were lubed by customer. I haven't even taken them out of the bag and looked at the actual switches. They feel very, 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 very lightly lubed. Yeah, it's pretty light. Holy panda. So these are mass drop holy pandas, probably because they say Innovir on them. So that's one of the easy ways to tell, right? If it says Innovir on it, it's either an original holy panda or it's a mass drop holy panda. And we're going to be building today, this bad boy. Oh, box. Box, 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 box. KBD8X Mark II. I love the way this box looks. I haven't even built mine yet. Mine's still sitting in its box, just hanging out. Shall we switch to the overhead view and get started? It is hefty. It is pretty hefty. What does this box weigh? I don't know. A lot. The box itself. I will tell you. Oh, why did I do that? Well, whatever. 6 pounds, like 11 ounces or something. £6, 11.7 ounces. It's pretty hefty. It's actually not going to be that heavy of a board, right? Because the packaging itself probably weighs a pound or close. Yeah, let's go to the overhead view and let's get building this, I say. Love that you guys are here to join me. I do. Boop. I do love that you're all here. But I don't want to waste your guys' Sunday morning. Come on. Come on. Come on. Boom. So it comes with some stabs. I don't know what kind of stabs these are. It says GMK. These are the stabs we'll be using today. Ultimate Thock, yeah. Box Thock. Got our fancy PCB. And I kind of like what was done with this. You thought T1 cream housings were Innovier replicas. Maybe. T1 cream. Oh, not Novelty's cream. T1 cream. I hear what you're saying now. Yes, I believe you're correct. There's a little switch there. It's like a little tiny switch here. Weird. I think it's a way to turn the LEDs off. I guess we'll find out. Anyway, I love these relief cuts in this. I'm curious to see how it works out. If it really lets each row independently seem just as flexible as the others. Guess we'll find out. So we're gonna need that. And then, what do we have under here? Okay, we got some foam. Some MK Ultra foam or whatever for the board. That's cool. That's cool. This fancy plate. Box Thock, a real thing. Yes. Headshot Killa, I think you're probably right, actually, with what you're talking about. Whatever, man. You just call them T1 creams. With halo stems. Or you can call them cream holy panda. Holy cream panda. I don't know, man. I probably wouldn't call them holy pandas unless we basically find out that they are really replica-like and the same. Like the Yoks and stuff were. Oh, I like that brass. Beautiful. That brass dough. And then the meat and potatoes. The meat and potatoes. What a cool color. Whiteboard. White one. It's actually pretty, man. Really pretty. Remember this foam. We're going to need that in a while. That foam is going to go something like this. Boop. Or like that. Dampen some of the sound in the bottom of the case. It'll be cool. This is gonna be our first thing we're gonna use or do anything with. So I'll set that stuff off to the side. Man, this is pretty. Pretty. You know, and the quality looks pretty good. Honestly. Do you think soldered PCBs sound different than hot swap? I do. I do think they sound a little different, but I think the more important factor there is actually how they feel. I think they feel different. And that's why I don't do hot swap builds for people, by and large. Like, even if you want to pay me to put mil-max sockets in your PCB, it's just not going to happen. I don't think they're that good. I don't think they're worth doing. And I don't want my name attached to things that I don't think are not worth doing anyway. Like, it's just not a thing for me. This is really pretty. I like the coating on this. Is it E-white? Looks like E-white. It's good. It's not the highest quality E-white that I've ever seen, but it's also not low quality. And honestly, for the price, pretty hard to beat. I hate that the screws in this are very small. Very, very small, and that they're Phillips head. That bothers me about most things that KBD fans makes. They use way too small of screws, so it's really easy to over torque and twist the head off, which would be a giant pain in building a board. I'm happy that this is not a hot swap board. I'm happy that it's solder in. Otherwise, I wouldn't be making one. The end. Pretty much where I'm at with it, man. Pretty big bummer, but it just is the thing that it is. And of course, this board doesn't have a diffuser or anywhere for the LEDs to shine through. So, you know, it's kind of just useless for the lighting, as far as I can tell. Yeah. Anyway, I like the E-white on this. I like the overall design. I like the way it feels. It's not the heaviest board in the world, but it's also not lightweight. It is substantial. It's somewhat substantial. I'm gonna go with 4 pounds. 4 pounds, 9.6 ounces. So again, not the heaviest board. Even at 5 pounds or whatever, it's still a few pounds lighter than the TX87 that we built 2 weeks ago. Or Salamander or whatever. I mean, whatever boards. But it has really thin bezels. And it's small for a TKL. Doesn't have a giant forehead or a giant front lip. So, you know, it's to be expected to some extent. But yeah, we're not actually going to need this part for quite a while. So I'm going to set it off to, you know, the side. Put that over there. It's back. And I'm going to put this over. We don't need it yet. We don't need it mostly right now. What we need, though, is this. We need this PCB. Have I been able to try creams and alpacas? I have tried alpacas. Do you mean Novelties creams or do you mean T1 creams? I've tried Novelties creams and I have tried alpacas. And alpaca linears are really good. Yeah. Yeah, Novelties creams are fine. I've even tried them with U stems in them. It's a little weird. I wouldn't do it. Yeah, Gat Inks. That's my recommendation. No, but between the two, honestly, if it's just between those two, what I would do is, and this is kind of an expensive and pain in the ass option, but I would get those alpaca linears and I would put switch films in them. My last customer, the customer that had that TX board actually has changed my mind on switch films. I still believe that most switches do not need films, but those alpacas were somewhat magical with them. Most Gatoron housings don't need them, and they aren't needed by them, in my opinion, because they're pretty tight. Subject to change, of course. You know, how do you know? Maybe my preference will change, but so far that's my experience. You actually get your board built. You're getting it built right now with creams. But you have extra PCB and plate and was thinking alpacas or inks. I like inks a lot. I think they're great switches. And they're pretty great right out of the box. So maybe lube them and fantastic, right? Alpacas, I would definitely film them and lube them for sure. But they are fantastic, so don't think they're not. I think you almost couldn't go wrong with either of those options. But film your alpacas. They were better. Bobby McBobby, what's up, man? How you doing? And our Bigfoot. Thanks for throwing that in there, man. It's nice to hear that I'm not just like an echo chamber, right? Like, yes, I thought this was good, so it's good, and it's the only way. At least someone else thinks this. Bobby McBobby, I don't know. I don't know what they're lubed with. They're customer lubed. And Shortcut, what up, man? How you doing? Yeah, they feel very lightly lubed, they almost feel not lubed, and the spring is definitely not lubed. So, I don't know. Yeah, there's a little bit of crunch. So I don't know. These were customer provided. But this same customer I'm building another KBD8X for. A polycarb one. And that will, those switches will be lubed by me. So I know they'll be great. And then I'm going to build another KBD8X polycarb that's mine one day. But I'm going to do the pad also. You've heard alpacas need to be filmed as well. I think it's the way to go, Black Korean Anthony. I really do. Anyway, we're gonna test this PCB out. We're gonna test it up and test it out and make sure that all is well with in its world. Boop. Oh, it's recognized. Everything going. No drama here. Normally we don't have drama with this kind of thing, actually. Oh. You guys probably want to see that, don't you? I think I lost a couple pairs of tweezers, so I ordered more. Like, they went with me when I traveled last week, and I don't know where they are. I mean, I'm sure they're around. I don't think I left them there. I just don't know where they got packed into. And, yeah. So did any of you guys catch the Mechs on Deck interview I did? I don't know if that one went as well as the first one, because I had, I was in a hotel room and had some internet issues, but but it was fun. It was fun nonetheless. It was really fun. I love hanging out with those guys. Legitimately some of my favorite people to hang out with in real life or otherwise. I've gamed with them before, also online. They're just good people. In this community, definitely some of my favorite heads to chill with. I don't know if you guys watch Mechs on Deck, but you should give it a shot sometime if you don't. So, I have very few criticisms of this board so far. Obviously, I wish that the screws that were used were larger screws. I wish that these switch positions were labeled. I think that the best thing that most PCB designers could do is add silk screening to all of their boards for literally every switch position and for stabilizer positions where you just have to know where your stabs go. So like this one doesn't have them, but it could, and it should. Because I don't ever remember where. I just test them every time. Because I don't want to be wrong. Was this a MkII board? I gotta go back and look. Nope, it's MkII. Syzygy. How you doing, man? How you doing? They are fun to watch. Shortcut. When are they going live for the giveaways? I do not know, man. I don't know. Sorry. So, as expected, this PCB, no drama. Just functional. And I kind of wouldn't have expected it to be any other way, right? Should just work. I'm gonna go look, make sure that the customer didn't have some strange request. this customer was on. Or layout, I mean. I don't think he did. It was... Where are you at, customer? Discord, there you are. Oh, also if I have a keyboard plugged in, right, guys? Am I right? Am I right? Oh, okay, there you go, Star Fox. Just standard win keyless. So here's the other question. Do you want it to be standard win keyless or standard win keyless with stepped caps? Because that's how I always delineate it in my build docs. Like if nobody says differently, I'm using stepped caps. So if you want standard, please let me know. No steps. Got it. Sangan bottom. No, it's not going to be Sangan if it's standard ANSI win key rather. Yeah, WLKL, but I know what he means. We can't make this board win keyless. This board will have at least 7 switches on the bottom row. Guaranteed. But probably more than that, right? Probably it will have 8 or yes, 8. Yeah, the other one's keyless. There we go. Anyway, yeah. So 125, 125, 125, 625, 125, 125, 125. Roger. So we will get started on now lubing up some stabilizers because that's what we're gonna need next. I wonder if I should get the big cutting mat. I don't know. I kind of always like the small one because I can move it around with stuff on it. Everybody seems to like the design of them. Like all the streamers have like a giant one and are using that. I guess I'm envious. Not envious. What is the deal with this? These little washers. Little bitty guys. Oh, they're O-rings. They're for them burger mounts. Got it, coach. Get some extra case screws. Probably for the plate. And then they gave us their own little washers. Oh, has its own washers. I don't know why I did that actually. Might want those washers. That's cool. I think I like my washers more, but you know, whatever. It came with them. Isn't enough though. 1, 2, 3. So are there like specific locations that need washers, I guess, maybe with this board? That's confusing. We're gonna use our standard washers. Standard nylon ones that we use for everything. I think that's better. You think the bigger one would be harder to move? I think so too. You have the bigger one so you don't get your desk mat as dirty. Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. But I use this giant blue solder mat, like that's really big. Well, it's like this big, I guess. Anyway, for when I'm soldering. Mostly because silicone will actually protect things from heat. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with this guy. These little washers. Two, 3. Yeah, there's some missing, or I don't know what the deal is with that. I'm not gonna worry too hard about it. Before anything, we're actually gonna throw these bump-ons on. I need to get in the habit of doing that with every board build. Bump-ons first. You know why? Because you don't want to scratch things. You don't want to scratch things. And it's quick. So I don't know if you guys had fun this weekend. My weekend has mostly been relaxing as I came back from work travel. Traveling for work is something that I don't know, man. I've been having to do it a lot more lately. And I don't hate it at all. Like, it's fine. It's just, it takes a lot out of you. Even if you enjoyed yourself or whatever, still, like, just kind of done. Thank you. Yeah, sorry I didn't stream yet again while I was on travel last week. It wasn't for lack of trying. I did actually set up to do it, and you guys saw that on the MkII Deck stream. But they hit me up, and they were like, hey, can you come on our stream? And my bandwidth wasn't good enough, I thought, to get you guys good stream quality. So I was just like, all right, you know what? That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna do this because there was enough bandwidth mostly for Discord. Mostly. Yep. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. You go back in the bag. Put something in the bag. Oh. Yeah, so it was all right. I was a little beat though. I did drive though, so there is that to Utah, the Salt Lake City area, which is about 9.5 hour drive. Plus, you know, you stop. I drove with a coworker. It was pretty fun though. I enjoyed it. Just definitely, I was done when I got back. Just done. Ready to not be out anymore. So I kind of just came home and hung out, played with my cats who missed me a lot. It's not like they didn't have anyone that could come check in on them or whatever, but they definitely needed a bunch of attention. It was good times. It was better than flying. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. I flew when I went to Florida 2 weeks before that, and I got like mildly, I don't want to say sick. I didn't ever feel sick, but I was like super congested. It was junk. It was junk. I didn't like it. What is that? Oh, kitty cats. Nice. Nice emote. TSC. Them kitty cats. Ooh, I see that founder tag next to your name now, TSC. I like it. I like it. Anyway, yeah, so I'll clip these up real quick and then we'll get going. I'm gonna need this trash canny goodness here to get rid of these little legs that we're clipping off. And for anybody that hasn't seen in a while or whatever, I will pull out the microscope and I'll show you guys. Boop. There we go. All right. I'm not gonna do everything under a microscope with this, but I am gonna show you guys what we're doing here, so that you know, so that you guys are all. Anybody who's never seen how to clip stabs, I want that to be a thing that you guys are aware of, right? So here we go. So what we're going to be clipping off, sorry about moving all that around so much. So what we're going to be clipping off is this leg right here. If you notice on these, there's this weird like footed deal. And these tines come in contact with the PCB and compress. And we don't want those. Make weird sound, they have a squishy bottom feel. So we're going to clip literally right here and right here completely off. So I'll show you guys two next to each other in 1 second, right after I clip these. In fact, I will clip a different one. And you don't have to be careful, really, when you clip these. It's not like it's difficult to get right or anything. So this is what a clipped one looks like. Versus, so this one is not clipped and this one is clipped. So now that whole bottom piece is flat. Versus not. So that's what we're doing here, ladies and gents. This zoomed in cam though, yeah. It's okay, I try. The zoomed in cam is a microscope. Microscope, as TSC always goes out and says. So yeah, we're gonna clip all those up, kind of prevent us from having inconsistent sound or feel or squishy bottom out or whatever. You press down on those stabilized keys. Also makes the sound, it just makes the sound kind of a little bit cleaner as the whole bottom contacts at the same time on both sides of the stabilizer. I'm a big fan. I think if you were going to only do one thing to improve the quality of your typing experience to a board, to any board, it would actually not be clipping the stabs. It would be lubing them. I think even more so, that's even more important than decent switches. Unless you're starting with really bad switches. So like, assuming you're working with an OEM or something, you probably have cherry switches. If you have Romer G's, I feel sorry for you, man. Get rid of it. Get something better. But if you have cherry switches, like if you have cherry MX blacks or whatever, they're a little scratchy, but they're not bad switches. Like I could never fault somebody for wanting cherry MX blacks. Even reds if you're like really soft typer or something and you want reds. Now browns. Browns I could fault you for. So it's important when you do this cutting to use flush cut side cutters. Don't use your standard wedge type ones. But MX Browns are best linear. Exactly. That's my problem with them. They're linears, basically. And I'm not into linears, as you guys know. It's not my thing. I like tactiles and clickies. But some people are into linears. And that's okay. I'm not gonna go so far as to like put a no linears emote up or anything. Like some people do with some other things. Although if you watch Mech Madness, the recap, and you look at Chewie's what he voted for, there's a bunch of 65s in there. Just saying. Clearly you're not awake yet. Yeah, I feel you. If you've got Romer G's, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but a Switch ain't one. Okay, there you go. I like it, TSC. Seems a little derivative, but it's still comedic. So I don't know what springs these holy, if they're actual holy, well, they're mass drop holy pandas, so they have the Halo True spring. Shocks, what's up, man? How you doing? TSC just spitting fire over there. Got Romer G's, son. Or I feel bad for you, son. 99 problems, but a Switch ain't one. I mean, I have some bad Switches. I have like a bunch of Otemu Skies. I wouldn't say they're terrible, I just don't think they're good. They are very inexpensive, so the value is very high. You're welcome for those brain droppings. Thank you so much, TSC. That's what I need on Sunday morning. Brain droppings. I mean, I think in the morning in general, droppings are on people's minds. Some people. Usually mine aren't brain droppings until after coffee, though. You know, gotta get that coffee in you. Help your brain wake up. Do its job. I don't know, maybe some of you guys aren't into coffee. I like coffee. I'm not even drinking like a high-end coffee right now. I'm drinking like some flavored coffee. Which, if you're a snob, totally not good stuff. I do like high-end coffee, but also I just like all coffee. Thank you so much. Thank you. Lana likes thick. Nice. I didn't even realize that was how I pronounced your name until just now. Sushi Roll 26, what up, man? Lana likes thick. Yeah, I like this too, man. This is a Baka 60. Or woman. I'm guessing maybe Lana, so probably. Shouldn't assume. But yes, Baka 60. Pow. You rolling the Folgers crystals? Oof, instant coffee. That's super rough. Super rough. No. So I am not a 60 fan. 60 is the smallest keyboard that can be useful in any way to me, and it's very non-preferable to me. However, this is a really cool board. So there's that. But then also, plug in. There we go. Is the Tofu 65 a good starter board? Yes. Yes, absolutely. I will always argue that the better way to start is actually just, as much as the value is so high on Tofu and Tofu 60 and Tofu 65, the value's crazy high. We're not really a value community here. We're really like a quality and I want to say prestige. That's bad. That's a bad way to put it. This community is very much about like having just high-end, nice things. And while you get about 80% of the way there with the Tofus or most of the KBD fans products, current production board somewhat excluded from that list. Oh, I have a win key. My win key is this key. Like, this is my Windows key. So no, I don't go mad. Let's break down the price on the Tofu 65, right? Let's say you put Zelios in it and you use Zeal stabs or some really high-end stuff, right? You're coming in under $400 for a keyboard built. Done. I don't want to call out exactly what this cost. The raw board from Chewy, because it was a private group buy. There will be, I think, another run though. I also don't want to consider these switches because these are Zycos. I don't really want to say that that's a good example, but as an example, this board, not including these keycaps, including something cheaper like what I was quoting on that Tofu 65, so like an ePBT set, right? I think you're talking somewhere in the sub $500 range versus somewhere in the sub $400 range. And in my mind, I'd rather have a really nice custom than a Tofu. Now, there are some exceptions to that. If you want an acrylic board, if you want something that has all the R's, the G's, and the B's, then the Tofu 60 acrylic and the 65 acrylic are awesome. Do them. Do those boards. Unless you want to jump in on a canoe or something, jump in on that. The other advantage to those other boards over something like this is timeline. You can, maybe not when the coronavirus is a big concern, but under normal circumstances, you can jump in on a Tofu like that, right? You'll get the board in a week. You could be built and ready to go in 2. Done. If you're doing it yourself. If you send it to me, you could expect it to take a month. That would be more realistic with all the shipping and everything getting to me and that whole deal. That would be a realistic expectation. So I will go out and I will say that the Tofu 65 and the Tofu are decent boards. But if you want like super high-end board, I'm not going to recommend them to you. If you want to get into the hobby and do an intro and you're planning on getting deeper into the hobby later, when you're like, oh man, I need more boards, and then get customs and maybe offload that one in a sale somewhere, then sure, it's good. The other thing to remember about boards like this or anything that was run in a group buy is that the value of those boards very likely will stay exactly the same. If you go to sell your Tofu acrylic, even, which I think are the more desirable of the Tofus, the Tofu acrylic and the Tofu 65 acrylic, again, because RGBs, and some people really love that, you're definitely not going to get exactly what you paid back out of it, shipped and the whole deal. Whereas, while I don't think you should be flipping, I don't think you should be losing money either. So like I bought Rukia, right? And round 1 Rukia was like just under $400 for the kit, right? Let's say I have $150 worth of switches in it because it's got Zycos and right, like $550 plus the shipping, so $575 for Rukia. No doubt you get that money out. If you decide you don't like it and you want to get rid of it. I don't think you should flip, but I do think that getting out what you put in, if you're trying to get rid of a board, is obviously a good goal, right? I don't think anybody's going to fault you for that at all. And if they do, kind of fuck them. Because, well, again, like, this is not a money losing proposition, hopefully, for anybody, outside of that you're just putting money into a board to have. So yeah, that's where I would go. That's why I would say, if you've got the time, if you want to wait and you want to get something really great, get in on a group buy, wait the 5 months that it's going to take realistically for it to get to you, and get something truly great. There are plenty of other services out there like mine. Like, if you don't know how to build, or you're afraid to hurt it, you're like, oh man, that's a huge investment, I don't want to harm it, then, you know, reach out to somebody like me or any of the other keyboard streamers and be like, hey, this is what I want. My rates are very competitive, so feel free to reach out to me. I'm always willing to discuss. And thanks for pinging those socials earlier. I appreciate that, TSC. Yeah, but I mean, you can always reach out, and I won't generally build you a quote document that far out for a GB, but I'll give you what the cost will be, and then you can ping me when it comes in, type thing. I'll do that. Or you can build it yourself if you're comfortable doing that, or whatever, you know. Usually, for what it's worth, the build services portion, if you do have somebody else build it, me, Tyson, Apiary, whoever, you're talking like less than 25% of the total cost of the board for sure is going to be dedicated to the build service part, even including shipping on like a high-end custom. Maybe a little bit higher percentage if you're doing something like a tofu, because the cost is lower. Again, though, you know, you get it a little more rapidly, so that's what I'd go with. So what good quality keyboards do I suggest, you asked, and I kind of deflected for a second because I didn't want to. I'm not going to try and sell you on a specific group buy or whatever. If you want to get in on a quality keyboard that you can find on the secondary market, because that's how you would find a board like this, maybe not this specific one, but like this, a custom, if you wanted it like tomorrow. You would go on Mech Market. Sounds like you maybe, man. I mean, maybe, right? It's a thing. But you go on to Mech Market and just start watching what's around, right? Like, people will be posting every day boards and keycap sets and blah blah blah, and everything's really expensive, but you know, you just wait till you find the type of board you want. If you know you want a 60, you're not paying attention to the rest of them. You just, when 60s pop up, you're like, oh, I'll look at that one, or look at every board and be like, that's a layout I like. If you find a TX60, which is what this board is modeled after, so it's very similar. I think you're looking, or a Sirius, Lana, great example, because Sirius is a very inexpensive board, very inexpensive. If one of those pop up, or you know, the GB runs again, it'll be a fast GB probably, because they're plastic, they're pretty fast. I agree with Syzygy. Avoid those impulse buys. Take your time. Find what you want. But if you know you want something, right, then be ready to jump on it the moment it posts. There are tools that can help you, and TSC, if you want to take a note, this is a good thing, good content for us to make in the future, is how to effectively use Mech Market to find what you are looking for. There's a bot out there. There's all sorts of things that can help you find things on Mech Market when they pop up, if you know exactly what you're looking for. If you don't know exactly what you're looking for and you just kind of want stuff, because I have impulse bought keyboards before, and you got some money burning a hole in your pocket, and you're just like, yeah, I want a new board, then you know, you got to be ready to jump on it too. Thanks for the new follow, for 20ing. I appreciate that. Sushi Roll 26, thanks for the follow. I don't know where my sounds are for that. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that up. I think that's why my sounds were missing. So hopefully I've reactivated those. I'm gonna rerun those to check them. Yeah, okay, there we go. So that one, and then this other one from 420ing. Thank you guys for the follow. I appreciate that. I'm sorry that the alerts didn't go out before. All right, so anyway, a reread. You wanted a custom so bad that you just got the first hot swap that you could find under 200. Everything was sold out a few weeks back. True. Yeah, I understand, man, and I'm sorry that you just jumped on the first thing. I hope that you avoid impulse buys and find out things that you want and then are able to jump in on those, because I think you'll find that the quality is a lot higher, especially when you stay away from hot swap. But most people think it's a good idea to have at least one hot swap, so it's not necessarily bad. Lubed Helios. Try to get a Series 60. Yes. Of course, yes. Knowing what you want. Plume. The bot is killer. Helps you get there first so often. Plume is so right, man. It'll just Discord alert you, and you'll be like, oh, pink, done. Buying it. Plume, what's up, man? It's nice to see you in here. It really, really is. I'm happy to see your name in here. I really appreciate that you jump in. As you Plume is a great streamer. You can see a lot of his content going live in the same kinds of places that you see mine. If no one's ever watched, jump in. The mech market bot is dangerous for impulse buyers. Why is it dangerous for impulse buyers? I mean, if you set alerts for generic terms that are pinging you all the time, yes. But if you're like, I want Galaxy class, right? So you're like, I'm gonna put in class or Galaxy or whatever, you're not gonna get a ton of alerts. You'll just get alerts for those things. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, Plume. I really do, man. I hope that you pop in as we go on, man. Like, I know when I started streaming and this thing became more of a focus, it's not that I don't watch, it's that I normally watch like other builds and stuff and other, like even Top Clack or whatever. I watch the VODs more often than not now, just because time. The amount of time I spend doing keyboard things, I have to like find that life balance, and I'm like, oh man, can't always do it right when it's on, and I feel bad because I love watching things like that. I like watching you. I was watching Stash kind of recently, stuff like that. Like I like watching people's stuff very frequently. I can't do it live. Feels bad. And our Bigfoot dangerous on the wallet. Well, it's not dangerous for the impulse buys for me, because I put alerts for very specific things. It did get that way for me when I set an alert for Alps once. That was dangerous. That was super dangerous. I was like, yes, alert me to anything that says Alps. And it was like, oh, I spent like $500 on Alps things in 2 months. Delete alert. I don't need to know. So I understand that. And the great voice as well, kind of like the US Chirosran. I like Chirosran. Whatever. I like that guy. That guy's awesome. And I love the content that he makes. Like, he's always making cool stuff about vintage boards, which I love. Because I'm super into cool vintage stuff. At least vintage keyboards. So it's cool to be compared to him. Hopefully my content can be as good as his at some point. What up, mechanics? How you doing, man? How does the quality of the Sirius hold up? Are there any issues? Geekster. So I mean, it's Palm. which is crazy durable material. Right, palm is also known as Delrin, I think, right? Just like super crazy durable plastic. I have never heard of any issues with it. It sounds great. It's inexpensive. It looks good. It's one of the best sounding boards I've seen. So hoping that there's not any issues with it. I don't think there will be. Teha Lude. His voice, the Teha Lude one. Oof, dude. Oof. Yeah, man, you get it. Work / streaming on top of everything. It does. I still try and watch people's stuff. It's just I can't always do it in real time. And that feels bad because I like interacting and adding to their stream. You know, having a little chat conversation. It helps the streamer sometimes. Especially at the beginning of a stream or whatever, where people are, you know, just kind of popping in and aren't all chatty yet. Sometimes it's convenient for the streamer if other people are like, oh, hey, how's it going? Gives them something to play off of. Know any keyboard YouTubers? Right? Lana. Wait. I had so many nice keyboards to the meetup yesterday. So fun to try this vintage. Oh, looped Helios. Really? Man, I didn't realize you guys had one. Man, one day I'll show up randomly to a UK meetup or something. That'd be awesome. Be like, guess what? Surprise, I'm here. Right? Oh, was in the Netherlands. That's right. He's in the Netherlands, but I thought he lived in the UK for a while. Maybe that was before keyboards. I don't know. I know I've watched some of his videos and he's talked about it. What up, mechanics? How you doing, man? The rest of chat and me are hopefully having a good time. Hopefully. How much are Holy Pandas going for right now? I mean, recently they were up on Mass Drop or Drop or whatever you want to say. So they were just kind of like $1 a piece ish. Ballparking. Shipped after everything's said and done, about $1 a piece on Mass Drop. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. If you're making Zycos, it's definitely the most cost-effective way to get drop Pandas. Otherwise, you're making stuff out of 3 switches, just silly expensive. Silly expensive. Which is awesome. Plume. I mean, it doesn't matter. They were lubing them with such lightweight lube that it like didn't matter if you wanted to use a grease. Literally just take the stems out, throw them in a tub, and tub lube the crap out of them. And who cares about the lube that they had on there because it's super thin. But if you wanted to oil lube them or lube them with something else that was really light, I could see how that would be problematic. Not me, though. Not me. Grease for all the things. I mean, there are lighter greases, so. So the problem with ultrasonic cleaning, though, is that if you're trying to remove critox or tribosis, so any kind of critox or any tribosis, there is no way to ultrasonic clean the lube off of those stems. Like, those lubricants are made not to be able to be removed easily. There is special solvents that are made to clean Krytox off of things that DuPont makes, but they are way more expensive than Krytox. So they're very, very expensive. Like, not reasonable for you and me to buy. You just dilute the oil that's on there off with grease. Stock on a lot of things might be tough right now. Yeah, you're totally right, TSC. It's unfortunately. Hopefully the whole thing goes away really fast and not a ton of people are hurt. YK Plume lubed. Switch with pizza grease. Yeah, pizza grease. But yeah, that's what you figured, but 65% brass plates keep restocking on KBD fans, but not your little 60s. Womp womp. Sorry. Really, I am. Hope you get them soon. Hope they restock soon, buddy. I'm sad mechanic, right? Headshot Killer. Could you just solder your switches onto the PCB even with the hot swap sockets, or do you need to desolder all of the kill sockets out? Want to get the crisp. Oh, you need a new PCB. So the issue with those hot sockets is the board has to be made specifically to take them. It has a much larger opening to allow for the plastic hot swap surround area to go through the board. And there's no way to really solder those switches on securely. I'm not saying that you couldn't like rig something up to work. It would not be stable and it would not feel solid, which is the point that which is the thing you're trying to actually accomplish anyway. It would not do that thing. Like, unless you had a metal insert made that fit exactly that spot, and it's just not realistic. It would cost more than just buying a new PCB. Sorry, buddy. Kind of sucks. Oof, I just saw Milmax in there, syzygy. I need to read. I don't know. So a key cult isn't a good starter board then. Sushi Roll, a key cult is a great starter board. Like, you're not going to go wrong with a key cult. It's just expensive. And potentially very difficult to get. Sometimes. Unless you're doing, having them make a complete custom for you. Bespoke keyboard, which they do, but it's very pricey. Yeah, the pads are also in a different spot. That's true. Nothing to solder the legs in because there's no sockets. Yes, it's all correct. Syzygy, I disagree with the Milmax. I think they're crap and should not be used, personally. I would not use them. They are not as stable as solder, and they don't feel as good. Plume, they're not. So here's the thing, right? They're not that impossible to get. You just have to know exactly what part it is you want and go on DigiKey and order exactly that part. Exactly. And the problem is there's different sizes and there's different size holes on the PCBs themselves. So like you have to be really specific about exactly what you want. All of that just makes it really complex. Yeah, so that's where I'm going with it, syzygy. It's not that I'm saying don't use them. If you really want the hot swap thing, kill hot sockets are your best, but If you really want to use a regular PCB and you want hot swap, MkII is the only solution. Hole tights are garbage and not worth using at all for anyone. Tin poisoning greater than hot swap sockets. I mean, tin poisoning. Who's getting tin poisoning, man? Really? You thinking lead poisoning? I mean, you're in Europe, so leaded solder is like hard to come by, right? But here in the US, we just use leaded solder. No, so here's my thing with it. So here's my thing with the hot sockets with the MkII, right? I think most people should not use them unless you just have to have a hot swap board. Generally speaking, the solder joint is just way more stable and everything is so much more solid that why not do it that way? Having your board desoldered either yourself with a pretty inexpensive part, or okay, like we gotta stop that sound. It's driving me crazy. Yeah, so having your board desoldered is not that expensive. Like, I would just do it that way. How often are you actually removing switches once you kind of know what you want in switches? Like, it's almost never, right? Wow, what a shit board on cam. I know, right, dude? You know what? Let me just call out what it is so everybody knows what not to get. Here in the US, we drink lead for breakfast. It's like, I can't. See, the problem is I have like this foam covering this window to block out the light and the sound. And so I would have to like, it would be a hassle. I'd have to take it all down. I guess it's stuck here on my fucking desk. God. So Chewy, you gonna do a release of Baka 60 ever? I'm just giving you shit, dude. People were just talking about what board to recommend. What board would I recommend to get? And I was like, well, not this one because it's not available. But nah, I want more people to have them, man. They're great boards. If you're into 60%, TX60 and Baka 60 are pretty difficult to beat, in my opinion. I'm not saying there aren't other good options in that size range, but I would say that these are definitely at the high end of what is available and is worth having. And you need to rebuild your KBD8X. I need to build my KBD8X Mark II for the first time sometime soon. I think it'll happen soon though. Refreshing Mac Market every 30 seconds for a week for a win keyless /HHKB in black 400. Yeah, sorry man. I don't know if that's gonna happen anytime soon, depending on what type of board you're looking for exactly. What stabs are these? Gondolindrum. What's up, man? It's good to see you in here. Smackin' J. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. By the way, anybody who isn't a follower, you know, you guys should just click that follow button. And then you should jump on over to Gondolindrum. Thanks for the follow, man. And then you should, you know, hit up my socials and jump on over to that YouTube channel and sub there. It helps. Anyway, that's my shameless plug. These are the screw-ins that came with the board, Gondolindrum, which it says RGMK. Guess we'll see. I mean, it literally said GMK. on this packaging. I'll here. I don't know if it's true or not, but here. That. Is something buzzing? I think that was. There's nothing else buzzing here though, as far as I can tell. Maybe the wire or not. Looks doctored. Can't trust it. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you guys. I mean, this is a customer board and this is what was provided. I mean, if it were me at this point, I would definitely be using Everglide stabs. That's where the money is. IMO. With the microscope. So we were showing off other things earlier, Mechs on Deck, with it. We're showing off how to clip stabs. It's just what it is. I would honestly, if you guys are gonna buy stabs right now, for me, there's only two options if you're buying new stabs, right? You're gonna get Everglides, or you're gonna get Zeals, and that is all for me. That's all I recommend to people. Everglides gang, yeah. Laguber, you're totally right, man. They're good. Gigster, what was it you were saying up there? There's oh, yeah, sure. Gondolindrum, you said you used post-retooled cherry stabs and they're awful. I don't disagree with you, man. I don't. But I also don't know what to do about it, right? Like, I just don't use them. Okay. Boom. Got all those in real easy. No drama. No drama. Now here's where we're gonna find if there's gonna be drama. This is where it's gonna be. Boop. There we go. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. No drama, no fighting. I bought 12 Everglide stabs and you're slowly swapping them on all your boards. Nice! Oh, you're about to try these Prime Cube stabs once Polaris ships. Yeah, I've actually got some parts for someone's Polaris. In fact, I hope that it all comes really soon because I'm excited. I'm excited to build one. I want to see what it's like. So these shipped with some kind of washers. Not enough of them, and we're not using them because I like using these specific washers that I'm using. You know, it's hard to go wrong with something that's tried and true. Yep, and these came from Amazon. I don't know if I have a washers chat command. I don't believe I do, and I don't think it's labeled anywhere, but I'll get one up. Need to get another, like, hey, these are all the parts I'm using. The part that everybody asks about is the desk mat, actually, funny enough. Not this desk mat, the solder mat, actually. So that one does definitely have a command. Yep, solder mat. No washers. Womp womp. 12. You bought 12 sets of Everglides? Man, that was pricey. Buy 12 at once. I realize I'm not the one who should be talking, because I probably have like 10 sets of Zeal Stabs in a drawer over there, and I know I have like 5 or 6 sets of Everglides too. So I feel you, man. So I'm kind of a fan of doing it this way, where I put one side in, because then the whole thing can't fall out. Oh, what was it, Mexican Deck, if you're still in here, what was it that Osiris was building the other day, where, I'm trying to remember what it was, where he had stabs and the washers were actually required, like the PCB actually shorted out. What was that board? That would be so disappointing. I mean, I still put washers in just because it can't hurt. And I have had that thing happen before, but it was on a clue board. Which, meh. Oh, no, you bought 4 sets. Now you tried them, you'll order 8 more. Oh, yeah. That, I understand. They're actually fantastic. They really are. Yeah. Plume, same, dude. Same. It's just like, oh, there's a good price on these. Let me just buy a bunch. Maybe not the best idea. But I mean, I never really run out of stabs. Like, I have had customers like deliver shit stabs or something else, and it's like, here, I have these, why don't we use these, and you can just pay me at the end for them. I generally do not stock parts for customers, but stabs are like the one thing where if something just isn't right or whatever, it's like, well, I have a bunch, so. Okay. And we'll be soldering in no time. So what are you guys' feelings, any of you guys who build boards, what are you guys' feelings in general on stabilizers that are plastic, where you screw directly into plastic, or where there's a metal insert? Because I feel like the metal insert engagement, while it may not actually be that important because of the loading we're putting on these pieces of plastic, like, it just seems like a better idea to me. It's like polycarbonate boards where there's a helicoil or something inside of it. Like, what did we have that with? Was that the Canoe that had that recently? Trying to remember. Either way, it just makes me happy. Like, it feels better. Like, oh, this thing is being done right. That's like a total selling point for me on a board or on the, honestly, the stabilizers. Like, I just wanted to thread in appropriately. Also, for any of you guys who are streamers out there, because I know there's a couple of you guys in the chat or have been You guys probably missed the mail call portion at the beginning of this, but I ordered some cool SMD practice sets, but more importantly, and they haven't arrived yet, I also ordered some SMD challenge sets where like challenges you to SMD solder proper. Any of you guys, if you're not all about it, SMD soldering yet, or you're not super proficient with it yet, and this is not just for streamers, this is for anybody. If you plan on doing any of that work, I recommend doing it. It's way easier than you think, and it just takes a tiny little bit of practice. You can get the practice ones on Amazon, and then TSC posted a link earlier, and I'm sure she could do it again, to show off the challenge kit ones. Yeah. Mellow Yellow and Lana. Yeah, it's totally the way, I think. It's not needed, and it's more likely to cause a short, but it feels right to me. It feels like the right way to do it. Anyway, okay, so we've tested the PCB, we've done all this, it's all pretty good, looks good, and now it's time to start getting some switches in there. If we were real sharp, what we would do is we would put 5 switches in there in place and some keycaps. So keeping in mind that this is a white board, what keycap set do you guys think is the right one to use? We're not at the point where we're gonna vote or do anything, but you know, if you guys were gonna give me an idea of what might be the right one, what do you think? I don't know if I like this song, but I'm also not really like willing to go out of my way to change it at the moment. Camping on this one, oof. We're gonna make Chewy all sorts of jealous. Is that what we're doing? Both of my camping sets are on other boards, but you know what? We could take one off. What's your opinion about the Duck Eagle / Viper? Completely underwhelming. I built one. Built them and they're underwhelming. I like Duck keyboards, but I don't really like that Duck keyboard. That's my thoughts on it. Sounds bad, sounds unfortunate, but it's just kind of where I'm at with it. Unfortunately. Okay. Oh, forgot there's a camera there. Well, in order to do this right, we need this out. Set number 2. And actually, I don't think we need to pull. We just need that keycap off this. So what we're doing right now. For the test. Come here, keycap puller. I need you. I don't really like the sound that this makes. That's just the sound that it makes. It's not the stabilizer, though. Whatever. Anyway, they actuate just fine. That's the important part. Star Fox, you got gifted a sub. Plume, thanks for gifting a sub. Thank you so much. How did I not? Okay, this is irritating. I had the, I thought I turned the sounds back on. Oh, man. I missed it. Plume, I'm a jerk, man. I missed that you gifted a sub. I just replayed the alert. So sorry about that, man. Plume is the man. Gifting them subs to Star Fox. That's awesome, dude. Thank you so much. Now I feel bad. I know. Penguin droppings, I know. Good to see you, by the way. Hopefully you're having a good time. All right. We don't really need these in these locations right now. I guess it doesn't matter. I think it's actually, so I had the alert sounds off because they were causing issues. Penguin droppings. We're causing some problems, but now they're fixed. Yeah, we actually all cheered in chat when it happened. I mean, there's fireworks. Oh, hello, yellow. I will say the volume on that specific alert is maybe a little too low. I need to get that turned up. Did not sound super loud, so you know. But I definitely like encouraging that type of behavior. I mean, that's good stuff. And I feel like a jerk. We'll make sure Plume knows personally at this point. Okay. Get some of these anchors in. Now this is a brass plate, so it's not as important to get as many anchors in as you otherwise might care to, because the plate itself doesn't flex as much. So generally speaking, if you guys are doing this, you want the anchors there so that it's easy to get all the other switches in, not only to anchor the whole orientation of the plate down to the PCB, but also so that it's easy to snap the in-between switches in without the plate pushing down or getting out of the way, right? Running away from effectively what you're doing, which is the case with plastic plates very frequently. Try and kind of pop out of the way of the increased force that you're applying to them, which is a major bummer. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we're having any issues with this. So what we're gonna do is set this off to the side for a sec. Get this out of the way. Pop this bad boy in place. Star Fox, interesting to hear how it's going to sound with the muting kit as well. Yeah, I got the muting kit for mine too, so I'm totally curious to hear how it's going to sound. The spacebar is a little loud compared to on a lot of boards, so I'm hoping that the muting kit really helps that part of it. Oh, cool. An hour 46 minutes. Cartoon, how you doing, man? You're really late. Nah, you're good. We haven't even started soldering anything yet, but we are about to. We are there. It is time for us to get going. So we'll fire up that iron. I threw a different tip in here today. A little bit more thermal mass going on this tip. This weird, here, I'll show you guys. Got this tip. This is a good one for drag soldering, so you can fill that little hole up with solder. That little footed well and get it going. Full size would be a little big for this mat. No, it would just take all of it up. And this mat is about as big as you're gonna find, if I'm being honest. This is a very large solder mat for a silicone mat like this. Oh, you know what we do need? Need a little of that action going. I don't really know why I decided to try and use this tip today. But that's what I'm doing. And we aren't doing step caps on this bad boy. Okay. Be right with chat in 1 sec. Sorry, I've been busy doing this part. All right. Hell yeah, just in time for soldering. What's up, Delphin? Delphin. Tinfoil. Oh, wait. Let's go back up. Okay. Where to? Will a TKL or full size mellow yellow? Will a TKL or full size comfortably fit on it? TKL, easy peasy. Full size, I think it would take up basically all of it. Pleasant Chaos, yes, this is a TKL for sure. You are totally right, man. Well, we had a 60% up here a minute ago. Mellow yellow. Fan. Yeah, Tinfoil, how is your new board treating you, man? I'm curious too. Nice, man. What did you get, Pleasant Chaos? What did you actually order, if you don't mind me asking? Oreos. Oh, shit. I haven't even played with them. I'm curious now, too. Only gripe Tinfoil has is that he thinks somehow messed up on the spacebar stab and it's louder than I think it should be. Maybe. Also, one end dips down lower than the other. Tinfoil, thanks for gifting a, Delphin, thanks for gifting a tier 1 to Tinfoil. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Really I do, man. That's awesome. You ordered some Everglides as well. Linears. Pleasant Chaos, that's awesome, man. I think you're setting yourself up for some success there with those switches, though. Delphin, absolutely. Oh, hey, you know I'm ready to get into the nitty-gritty on that next board, man. I'm always willing to talk about that. Let's get it going. Yeah, I mean, I'll spring swap. I mean, if I'm lubing switches for you, spring swapping doesn't cost more. It's just the same. Like, I already have the switches apart. So as long as you have loose springs, I'm guessing that's what you're talking about doing. Like TX springs or something, it doesn't cost more at all. It really comes down to like how much time it takes. That's why my lubing prices increase with different types of work. Like, it's about time. And we are not doing stepped caps. Right now you're debating alpacas, mobs, and Everglides, or if you stick to your GAT inks. GAT inks are great, and alpacas... So here's the deal with alpaca linears. We were talking about this earlier. Alpaca linears really do need to be switch filmed. I do charge a bunch more for that because it's a giant pain in the ass. But normally I just refuse to do stuff for people when it came to switch films, and I do still think that most switches do not benefit from switch films. However, some do, and alpaca linears are absolutely one of them. Like, they go from being a not that great switch to being a freaking fantastic switch. There's so much good shit about mobs and alpacas. Well, I'm talking about alpaca linears. I haven't played enough with mobs to really have much of an opinion. The fresh Dio. Thanks for the follow, man. I really appreciate that. I really do. Everglide coral reds are supposed to be identical to alpacas. You got them and they're smooth. I mean, like I said, if they're identical to alpacas, then they need to be a little bit tighter. The sound profile gets a lot better and they feel tight. Like no wobble once they're filmed. GAT inks I don't think need that. They benefit from lubing, but they don't really need films. D15 array, disarray. Thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate that. I really do. Anybody else that isn't already a follower, if you're enjoying yourself, please feel free to, you know, drop that follow. And then pop on over to my YouTube and give that sub, man. It helps. You get all the VODs there or here, plus some more content on YouTube. Typing test sounds and stuff so far. But soon to come, some more stuff. Keep promising it. And one day it will happen. Ugh. Man, these woolly pandas are really tight in here. Like, really. There we go. Plate wanted to flex out of the way of those. Really excited to see how this 8X turns out. Me too. Lana, you said they're on your need to try list. I need to try them too. Everglide switches. I have not yet. Have not myself. So, Star Fox, if you're still in here, what did you lube these with? Do not mind me asking. I'm down. I'm down to get some Pleasant Chaos. I'm definitely not opposed to it. I just haven't done it yet. Man, these are like... This plate is definitely tight. I'm excited for this board. I really love the way this board looks. I believe that they are good value. They do look like they are. If they're actually good switches, then they are good value. I feel like GAT inks are a pretty good value. They're not too expensive. It's just when they're in stock. That's true. They are. And they go out of stock super quick as a result. When they pop up, people just buy them out. Rutro. Thank you for that follow, man. I appreciate that a lot. I really do. It appears as though Sunday morning is not a bad time to stream. You guys seem to like this morning time frame, as far as I can tell. Okay, so what we need to do, because I always forget this part, and I don't like messing it up, is I know that this edge is 125. So that's easy. And then I think the next one is this one also. It's like leftmost, yes. And then, is it leftmost again? I think it's not. I think it's rightmost. That's what I'm about to find. Or I'm wrong. Oh, I'm wrong. It's left. This one's in a static position. This one is definitely correct. This one can't be in any position, but this one... And I think it's not leftmost, it's right, it's rightmost. And then rightmost, and then left, right? I always forget. Okay, we'll figure it out. That one's correct. Pretty sure it's right. That is. It is. Sweet. Get out of there. Get out of there. With the keycaps, I can totally tell where it goes, but without them, it's harder. Anyway, they're in now, and they're in the right places. What we're gonna do is set this down. Boop boop. How is that solder mat? It's freaking fantastic, man. Yeah, send me a sound test, Pleasant Chaos. I'm totally down. They're really crisp in terms of tactility, feel very smooth at the same time. Yeah, I haven't messed with them, so I don't know. Yeah, I love this solder mat. This solder mat's awesome. I don't know that this tip is particularly great for what we're doing here, but not bad. It's not going to hurt anything. It has a lot of heat. I kind of need to get a blade type one. Seen a lot of cutting boards. You think that's better? I know this is better. The whole point of this silicone mat is that if you touch it with the hot thing, it doesn't burn the thing under it. The cutting mats are plastic that will melt. This is silicone. I mean, it will eventually transmit enough heat to burn the thing under it. But it's like when you stick something, when you have something in your oven, right? And you pull it out with a silicone glove on or whatever, it just works really well. Thank you, Pleasant Chaos, for donating $5.48. Appreciate that, man. For anyone watching, this dude not only built my first board, but got me into the hobby. Now look at me, boring my friends with keyboard talk. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate it, dude. I mean, you found me. Like, thank you for putting so much trust in me to build your boards. Don't worry, man. I'm ready for the next one. I like building cool boards. And honestly, like, your first board is a relatively straightforward build that, you know, like, just is a known good quantity, but it turned out really well. I really love that board. I've built more of them since yours. Also, thanks for all the really good advice on getting on Instagram and trying to build a following there. Like, your ideas are good, man. And your Instagram, man, I love that Instagram. That's a fun Instagram to watch, man. You have great work. Well, you do great work. That's not a joke. Yeah. Pop your Insta up in the channel, man. Like, put it up there. Everybody will like yours. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, the content is totally appealing to me, but honestly, like, I'm just into photography also, so, like, I love looking at yours because I think just portrait photography in general is really intriguing. It always has been. So on top of the content being cool, like, from a technical aspect, I think it's great. Caught me in the wild. Did I, Smack and Jay? Nice, man. Nice. Be prepared, though, my content is less sexy than keyboards. Oof. I mean, I like keyboards a lot, but I think your content is definitively, literally, the definition of more sexy than keyboards. Like, the actual definition. It's pretty dope. Getting the rest of the guys into custom keyboards. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I really like mechanical keyboards a lot, as you guys obviously know. But I just like beautiful things. So, like, keyboards are beautiful in a mechanical sense, and it's kind of like portrait photography always was really interesting to me because it's all about, like, capturing whatever the subject's beauty is, like people, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, I couldn't do it as a full-time job. I would go crazy because people are also a pain to deal with sometimes, especially when you're taking photos of them. I don't know how many of you, other than, I'm sure some of you have, but have for money captured photos of people. But I've shot a couple people's weddings, and it went really well for me, but people are still sometimes kind of a hassle to deal with. And post-processing images of people takes a lot of time. A lot more time than a lot of other photography. Like, a lot of time. Your Duck TCV3 went to the shitter using the MacBook Pro keyboard. Oh. Yeah. You went from using something really nice to using literally one of the known to be the worst keyboards in current production. That one was seated. That's rough, man. I feel bad for you. Penguin dropping. Stash, thanks for the raid. I don't know if Stash can hear me yet, if he's switched over to my audio, but Stash, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Show us the OSA. I don't have an OSA. I don't own an OSA. Oh no, feels bad. Is that what Stash just built? An OSA? Yo, Stevo, thanks for the follow. Appreciate that, man. I will show you the Rukia. Okay, fine. All right. Are you ready? Are you ready for Rukia? I'll go get it. I'll go get it. I'll get it. Or HBCP with Shoko on it. All right. Come on. Stupid cable. It's okay. I love this board too, so I totally understand. Totally understand. It's a beautiful board. Full backspace, baby. That's right, full backspace. All right, we're going back to the overhead view. It is the only way, Stash. Check it out, though. This is what I'll do for you guys. Just because you guys like it so much. I'll let it peek up there. Just, you know. You guys will see it a little bit. How about that? How about that? Okay? Just for you guys. The unicorn came out so good. Oh, nice, man. I still think I think the unicorn's great. But every time somebody says unicorn, I think of like literally my favorite, one of my top 5 boards of all time that I've built. Well, top 6 at least now. And that's and it's not the unicorn you're talking about. It's the Duck Unicorn X Legend. Tilde, where it's supposed to be as well. Yep, Tilde. You know what I can't wait for though? Since we're talking about Alice layouts and clones and blah blah blah, is LZ Physics. I did get in on one of those, and I cannot wait. That's gonna be beaut. A beaut. Can't wait for fallacy extras. Yeah. What's the other one that ran that was a TKL Alice layout? Oh man, I keep the Virgo. Right? Can't wait for that. I am ready. That's gonna be a beautiful board. Well, Pleasant Chaos, you should look at that Virgo because it is TKL Alice layout without the staggered bottom row keycaps. So it doesn't have this, like how the alt is lower than the space over here and stuff. Void Radiant. Yeah, the Void Radiant's gonna be nice. So I totally understand. I totally do. Oh, I didn't get in on Virgo. I just can't wait. Hopefully one day I build one or I buy one. Passed on Virgo. Wasn't sure you could really get used to that layout. And that's actually the thing for me. As much as I love Alice layout the way it looks, like this board right here, I barely use it. Right? Because, well, I can't really use it all the time. Not only is it basically a 60, so no arrows, no home end, but just the lack of arrows and stuff is pretty nail in the coffin for me using a board regularly. $7V does look nice. I agree. Just afraid of the 7V's QC. I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you for feeling that way. Totally understand. This is going to be an unlimited GB. Am I going to get on Satisfaction 75 R2? When does Satisfaction 75 R2 run? And almost certainly, it's one of the few boards of last year that I actually regret not getting in on. Are you familiar with when it's going to run? I guess I should be paying attention to that UPAS newsletter. Yeah, 75. Sign up for the newsletter. Yeah, let me know, man. I regret not getting it. I really do. It's such a good board. And I knew that I would regret it right after I didn't get in on it. So it wasn't like it was a big surprise that it was great. But just there were other things going on, man. I don't even remember now what was going on. Okay, it's seated. I was worried that that one wasn't seated right. I'm worried about a couple of them. Okay, clean this tip up real good, real well. All right, tin it. Clean it up a little more. here, turn it off, cool down. How much was the original run? Under 5. It was sub 5. It was like 475, I want to say. They're doing prototypes right now. Curious how the Lodestone 65 is going to turn out. I'm curious about that one too. I'm not going to buy one, but I am curious. Sign up for the newsletter. Yeah, thanks. The knob and the OLED are really cool. It's really actually just, it sounds good, it looks good, it feels good. It's a great board. The not good Corona that I don't, yeah. There's only one thing you regret about your board. You got 60 instead of 65. Sorry, man. Sorry, mean. You can fix that by getting a different board. And it sounds like you're gonna. Okay. So before we go all crazy here, plug this bad boy in. All those lights still work. Hey, Mowgli, thank you so much for that follow. So Stash, I don't know if you heard me actually thank you for the post or not, but thank you. By the way, anybody who's not watching Stash already, jump on over and give that guy a follow. Honestly, his stuff is really cool. I think he's a cool guy. I like watching him. I don't know. I think it's worth it. You should totally jump in on it. Totally jump in on his stuff, man. Dude, I want to support literally everybody who's new and streaming and starting, but I want to see more content from you. I like it. I like it. Please keep making good stuff. All right, let's pop up switch hitter real quick, and we'll clear it out. We are 87 key ANSI. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Boom. Done. All right. Just doing Sundays for now, but you'll be doing a second day a week soon. I mean, it's a lot more commitment, right? That's really what it comes down to. It's a lot of effort. It really is. So I understand. Okay, so we're going to get this solder mat out of here because this, well, you know what? Before we do that, let's do the one thing that can really kind of throw boards off, right? Let's get these on. Hey, Tasachka. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. I like that name. I don't know why, but I like it. It's cool. Penguin Droppings posted a teaser on the Discord. Ooh, teaser. Teaser. Hey, been a long time. You don't catch my Vogon PT. How you doing, man? How you doing? Happy to see you in here. Been doing VODs for a long time. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I really do. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to make sure that the keycaps that are more difficult to get aligned straight because of the way that, you know, keyboards work. I want to make sure that they're lined up. So before we put this whole thing together and then have to take it apart to get everything in place. You guys know how it goes. The non-fixed layout things. I thought the 8X was Win keyless. They did make Win keyless, and the one that I bought is in Win keyless. But they're not all Win keyless. They offered both. They did. Did indeed. This may require a little bit of alignment. This will be really interesting because we can compare it to the TX, to the TX 84. I don't have an 87, so we can't compare it to that. Might actually get these keycaps on there. We got to do that anyway, so seeing it lined up will be good. This is not my personal board, Pleasant Chaos. This is a customer board. Customer popped in a little earlier and was talking about it. I do have one of these. Mine is not white though. Mine is polycarbonate. And I have not made mine yet. Just gonna pop all of these on now. F it. It was offered both MkII and MkII list. Yes, it was. Yep, we're doing GMK camping. I think we decided. I'm not even giving you guys an option because this is a whiteboard, and I have other whiteboards to compare it to that. Well, another whiteboard to compare it to that is also wearing camping, and I think it's a good comparison. Unless the customer wants to see this board with something wearing something else, in which case I will totally take all these off and put something else on. Sorry, I'm not giving you guys all the options, but you know, sometimes I want to see a certain look. No, it's fine. Camping is nice. Cool. Glad to hear it, man. You love both actually camping and the key set? Me too. Me too. Me too. And we're taking this off. Putting this on. Because this is the right enter key for this keyboard. Trust you. I do not always know best, but thank you for the vote of confidence. I try to always make sure that boards look really good when we build them, though. But with a white case, camping is just like, it just pops hard. And this is gonna make it totally a giant pain in the ass to get those little O-rings in place, but we'll work that out too. I want to see that everything's straight though. So nothing else can actually be out of line. So this is the only thing we're worried about being straightened up. Enter can rotate just a tiny little bit. And backspace or backslash. Here's what we're gonna do. Enter can come down just a little bit. Not much though. Loosen that just a little bit. I'm gonna pop this. Nope, that was a mistake. Too much. So what we're doing is we're applying like a little bit of torque to the actual keycap, which has a little bit more leverage while we blow these pads. And that seems to probably have worked. It did. As much as it's going to, it did. And then this backslash can be pushed up just a little bit. That's this one. Nope. A little bit more. Perfect. Well, maybe not perfect. That looks better. What just happened? Burned my hand, but got it warm for sure. Everything looks good, man. All right, I'm happy with it. Cool. Move this out of the way. Out of the way, out of the way. Okay, I'm gonna pop this out of the way too. Sorry, guys. Happy that you all love Rukia. I also love Rukia. Ooh, I got in on Burgundy also. Have to decide between Ashes, Apollo, while you're getting Taro and Botanical. Oof. So much good stuff. Botanical looks amazing, and I'm really tempted. Taro, I feel like I'll kick myself if I don't get. Ashes I love, and Apollo I like, but Apollo doesn't come with numpad, so kind of probably not going to get it. All right, so we're going to move this stuff out of the way. I'm going to clean this one more time. Retin it. Turn it off. I think we're done with these things, right? Let me get this out of the way because this mat collects flux and it can kind of get on the outer case of the board, which is kind of gross. We're going to avoid it by not having it there. We have this cool mat here, which is pretty clean and nice. We can kind of wipe it off. All right. Let's get this beautiful case popped apart. Get it in here. No go for you on honey. I'm not gonna get honey either. Everything in the mail this week to build your 2 boards. Nice, dude. Nice. I only have one board right now, and I'm about to get 8 GMK sets. All right. I'm really happy to hear that you're into this keyboard hobby now. You went hard, man. You went hard. Non-magnetic screws are mostly non-magnetic. Talisman, thanks for the 111 bits, man. Thanks for that cheer. I appreciate that. I really do. Nice seeing you in here today. It's maybe a little early for you today. We started a little earlier than we normally do. But I kind of am liking this time. Kind of worked out pretty well overall. Stash, all right. Got to go finish up this Doghouse Entertainment Center you started building yesterday. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I will. And we're almost done, so I'll be handling some business. Business is business. Also, I think it's worth having multiple key sets for one board. Even if the extra PCB is future-proof. Yes, agreed. Keone, you just got a gifted sub from Hello PPP TV. Thank you very much, Hello PPP TV. Appreciate that, man. How's your day going? Hopefully pretty well. Thank you guys for all the support, all the subs gifted, all the follows, everything. Anybody that isn't already doing so, if if you're liking the content you're seeing, please consider giving that follow, popping over to my YouTube and Instagram and subbing and following there respectively. Those ones don't cost any money at all. And ooh, what's this? E-white coming out of probably coming out of the screw hole as we unscrewed it, if I had to guess. Almost certainly what's going on there. Okay, so what I'm going to do about that is I'm going to wipe it off because it drives me crazy. Check out your Instagram storyline for the progress. Definitely do that. Stash is awesome. It's like a Nintendo cartridge. No, I'm just trying to get the dust out of there. That is not the correct way around. So we will change that. So there we go with that. It's literally like it's meant to go on like a handle and scrub, I don't know, whatever. It's just like a Brillo pad type thing. I also, like, between streams, so I'll wash the mats, obviously, but I also have a spray bottle with water because flux has a tendency to collect down here below where the solder mat goes, and like you'll get little discoloration right there, little flux spots. So what I'll do is I'll spray it down with water and wipe it away, and it'll kind of come up. Okay, so what we've got here is this is how this is going to go down into the case. But there was these little T-Wizzle. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. But there's these little burger mounty O-ring deals. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these down right inside of there. So if you look, these guys are real tiny. I'll go to the microscope to make it easier. So there's these little rubber O-rings, as you can kind of see. Compressible, right? So you're gonna put those down right in here for anybody that hasn't seen it before. Shred Major, thanks for that follow. Appreciate that. So we're gonna put these right here where the screw holes are, where the plate's going to sit on top of, so that it gives it a little extra bounce. Right? Absorbs a little bit of that energy, quiet it up a little bit, give a little bit of a nice feel to the board. I mean, this board has a lot of flex. Even though it's a brass plate, it has those flex reliefs cut into the PCB. So definitely it's meant to be uniformly flexible. I think this will aid in it. These are really easy to remove and kind of a pain to install comparatively. So if a customer doesn't like it, you can always take them out pretty quickly, unless he says he doesn't want them. Came with them. Figure we'll put it in. The Odd Firefox, thanks for that follow. Appreciate that. Vogon PT, you've been meaning to ask, how do you call that washer? So they look like this, and I'd have to go through my purchase history to actually find. This is what the label looks like. So it's M2 by 5 by 0.5 millimeters. So the hole is M2. First cube stream you're catching, Odd Firefox? Nice, man. Nice. Thanks again, man, for catching the stream. That's awesome. It's cool that this is the first cube stream you're actually catching, though. Makes me really happy, man. I'm happy I could break you into watching the cube streams. Have you been watching VODs for a while? ArcZ, thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. So we got one in each of the screw holes. Now we're going to pop the plate and PCB down, in, and of course we have keycaps on, so they're going to be up a little bit higher than they otherwise would be, but that doesn't really matter because we'll raise the top to it. And what we'll do is we'll take these other top screws, which weren't in but are here now, right? And we'll get them out. There we go. Get rid of these. Cool. M2 0.5 millimeter. Yes, correct. That's the ones I'm using. They're nylon. Ones I have are red. So we're not going to tighten it. We're going to leave it just threaded in there. Right, then we're going to get this other one in. The same kind of deal. That'll kind of snug it up there. The rest of these should be pretty aligned. Corners as per usual and torque it down in a starish pattern. Much love everyone in chat. Oh no. Elephant, I appreciate that. Keep them gifts rolling. Thanks, man. Thanks for the support on that one. It's always good. I agree. Because all the money that goes into the stream pretty much goes right back up into the stream. In one way or another. Either content or camera stuff or microphone gear or whatever. Or one day it'll just go into keyboards, you know. Okay, so these are just loosely, well, barely snug now. Now we're gonna tighten it down a little bit. Again, this is KBD fan stuff. They're using pretty small screws, so you don't want to tighten it down too much. Okay. Sounds pretty good to me so far. The other thing we're gonna do, right? Get this seated right. Make sure that our not my shirt though. Perfect. Okay. Put the bottom over. I think the 8X will be available on KBD fans again. I think once the coronavirus stuff is done, if they've licensed appropriately with AIO3, which I'm guessing they did, they probably own all of it. It was such a wild success that I would guess it will almost certainly be available at some point again. I don't see this board not being made again. They may make a Mark III or something like that, but it's almost certainly going to be there at some point. Or something very like it. I mean, let's put it this way, right? It's been the Mark, this is the Mark II. So it's already not the first one. It's definitely going to be around again. Void Radiant is going to be great. For AI Andromeda. Yeah? I'm definitely looking forward to the Void Radiant. Andromeda will be cool. You need to get an 8X. Yeah, I'm not unhappy that I got one. I'm not 100% sure I got the right one. I got the polycarb, and I got the matching pad with it. Cool to have the pad, I guess. I'm happy that I got it. So the thing to note about this with the MK Ultra foam in is that it does definitely need compression. Like if you look right here, you can kind of see. So in order to tension properly, what I'm doing is actually compressing all the foam just by hand right there. And then waiting until the screw feels snug. And then I'm stopping because I don't want to over torque these little tiny screws. Because again, they're really small, which is kind of the standard for KBD fans, using way too small of. Maybe it's perfectly adequate, but it's not large enough that I'm not worried about over torquing them. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Why do I have an extra? Did I pull an extra out? Yeah, I must have pulled an extra out from the baggie when I did the other ones. That's fine. Okay. So now Pop all these on. No need to over torque. It's not like it will fall apart. Well, if you do over torque though with a really small screw like that, you'll twist the head off. Again, they also use not great hardware sometimes, as is my experience with KBD fans. And if you over torque, you might actually just lose one of the screws in there, not be able to get it out. Should be bad. Nothing like soldering your board while watching Cube stream. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. I appreciate it that you're watching me build a keyboard while you're building a keyboard. Never eat soggy waffles. Right? Never eat soggy waffles. Wait, did I see BB? Wait, BBB? Where's BBB? BBB, what's up, man? How you doing? Shred Major, I want to catch this. Okay, you're pretty new to the keyboard world, just curious why nothing is mass produced. I like the small community vibe, but it makes it so hard to get what you're looking for. So here's why. We are not that big of a community. So the demand to have a $500 keyboard is not high enough to warrant continuous production of a keyboard. Now I'm going to compare this board right now to this board. Look familiar? Pretty close. Because this is probably the best comparison out there. Man, it's such a loud spacebar on this keyboard. It's definitely lighter than the TX84. I like this side profile more, I think. It's shorter on the front, which is pretty cool. It is shorter on the front lip. And on the back, the angle is less steep, which I don't like. I like steep angles. I think I prefer to type on that, though, actually. I think it looks really clean. Like, really, really clean. Yeah, the side profile is great. Kiwi, nice to see you, man. Koi. Of course, the RGBs is not going to matter at all. Bogon PT, man. Hey, thanks for the sub. I appreciate that, man. I really do. For 2 months. Tier 1 for 2 months. Thanks. RGB is the only thing that matters. Well, so the next board we're going to build is another one of these. But it is polycarbonate. And then the next board after that we're going to build is another one of these that's polycarbonate, and that one's mine. So you'll get to see a couple of those. RGB projector keyboard. Yes, I need a projector out the back. Babby Rock. It's build. I think you spelled it wrong. I think you just Baliena, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Don't worry about it, man. I got you. It's probably like, why didn't it go? Oh, yeah. Getting the practice in before you do your own. You see, oh, no, it's really just that customer boards come first. I've mostly depleted my queue, with the exception of those two. I posted another ad thing. And then I have some other stuff that I'm kind of just waiting on parts or whatever for. So it's good because I may get to build some of my own boards, though it's not usually the case. I'll post an ad and then it'll be like, well, all my stuff gets to wait now. Womp womp. Reel that up. Okay. Yes, this white is beautiful. Good one. 8X Mark II, and you sold it right away. Sorry, man. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. I mean, I guess I don't really care about switch header right now, but we can test that, I guess. Like we already did that, but no, what else? They'll work. You see, just buy your first DIY kit, the Tofu HHKB, you're excited for it. That's cool. Wish there were more options out there. Maybe it's just the outbreak. It isn't just the outbreak. For the most part, things just aren't available at retail. They're sold as group buys, and this board actually probably could have been sold retail, and I think it would work, and maybe it will one day. The original 8X kind of was. I have a feeling that's where they want to go with this one. And if they do, this will be one of the most fantastic TKLs of all time as a result, in my opinion. Star Fox, you have the HBCP coming. Oh, dude. If you need somebody to build it, you know, hit me up. Hit me up. You currently have the HJCP on hand. Not sure what kind of build you want for it yet. HBCP. So my HBCP that I built like 7 months ago is Zelio V2s with I don't know. It's the best sounding board I own in the end, and it feels pretty much amazing. And it looks beautiful, and it has all the compatibility I want. It's one of my most prized keyboard possessions. It's the always go-to. It's literally always on that desk. Which is the desk that I use every day. So I use that keyboard more than any other. It's beautiful. I'll show it TSC. I know people love it, so I will get it out there. Sorry. I'm not getting in on the EO87, but I know I'll build at least one or two or more probably. HBCP. And I mean, this is pretty simple to hold on one sec. Sorry, I had to mute that mic so you guys could, you know, not die from too much sound. So here we go. It's so loud, the spacebar on this. It sounds pretty good to me, man. It sounds pretty good. Now let's move it similarly close to the HBCP and get a sound out from it. All right, here we go. So I don't know. What do you guys think? The sounds on all of these are good, but yeah, I'm loving them. I love them both. I actually really like that, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. It kind of makes me wish that I got white, or actually, what it kind of makes me wish is that I got polycarb bottom with white top. That probably would have been the way. But this board sounds better than literally any board I've ever had. It's perfect. I think taking the Zelio V2s out and putting Zycos in it would potentially make it like that end game level awesome. But that white is beautiful. Silver is not my favorite thing in the world. I do have another HBCP coming for me, and that one will be purple polycarbonate. That one will get prioritized as another build that is outside of my customer builds or whatever, and that one will get built on, well, probably a Sunday stream like this one. In fact, probably not on my Wednesday, which is a regular build. You're using Shoko on your black PC. Oh, yeah, the thing 6.5. That's awesome, man. Shoko's amazing. Yeah, so it does look good, but this is not a fair comparison. This is a really high-end custom board, and this is a custom board that was made en masse. And honestly, the value of this is way higher than this, without a doubt. Without a doubt. It's not even close. Also, I like that you can kind of grip the side of this a little bit. This has no grip on the side. Pretty much got to palm it like that. The weight of this board, let's see what it weighs right now. Let's see what it weighs. What do you guys think? What are you guys going to guess? Some of you already watched its unbuilt weight. Let's give this view. Ooh, 6 pounds, 1.5 ounces. That's a heavy board. That's actually pretty good. Much heavier than I thought it would be. Much, much heavier than I thought it would be. TSC, man, super close, by the way. Super, super close. All right. So I think what time it is it's typing test sound time. Or type test time. Perfect. Didn't want to scratch it, so I wanted to find the hole with my finger for guiding the actual USB-C in. All right. Go back to this view and pull up this. And then we'll get started. What do you guys think? Wait, does that mean you're 6,000 pounds? Okay. All right. It will be nice with GMK Burgundy, won't it? I'm pretty stoked for it. All right, so, you guys ready? Oh, redo. Caps lock on. Lame. 61. You're addicted to keyboards times 100. There you go. There you go. Okay, so 61, so maybe not that great, but you know, whatevs. Fun anyway. So I'm kind of loving this. Kind of loving this. I think this is a great board. I'm really happy now that I bought one. Because even after looking at it in like the polycarb one that I bought, mine's keyless, by the way. I am a lefty. I am a lefty. Laguber, that's why I always like 1800 compact and 1800 and stuff with a numpad. Because I game, do my directions and all my mods and stuff like that and using my left hand because I don't like my stuff all bunched up. Similar to how right-handed people don't like, yeah, you know, same kind of deal. Does it make sense to get a win keyless 60%? ArcZ, I think so. I bind, talisman. That hurts, man. So I bind my win key to caps lock and I put caps lock on a function layer in the same location. So I don't like having Windows keys here because it kind of messes up gaming if you hit your Windows key while you're gaming. So I'm not all about it. I mean, Laguber, that's why. That's one really big reason why I win keyless. Also, it looks kind of clean. Yeah, like it looks really good. I mean, here. I'll show you. I will show you, sir. Are you telling me that you think that bottom row is prettier than that bottom row? Because I think that's prettier. And I think a lot of people think that. Well, I think you're in the minority of people who are into mechanical keyboards, at least. But that's fine. Everybody's up. Yeah, everybody's entitled to have their own preference. And you definitely get more functionality with that than you do with this. No doubt. I think ArcZ, though, I agree with you. Win keyless on a TKL, without a doubt. Without a doubt, the best. Swizz, HHKB 60% though. Not really for me, but it does look nice. I'll go along with that. 7 you bottom row snobs, right? Also, I like that big spacebar. Even though if you look at like where there's wear on spacebars, it's like literally always right here for me. Listen to these sounds. So there's more volume on the inside of this case that allows for a little bit more resonance, like you can hear here. These are not Zycos. These are Zelio V2s. If you want to hear the best sounding Zycos, here we go, buddy. Here we go. Penguin droppings. Here you go. This is where we're going to get into it. You want to hear good sounding Zycos? This is it. Holy Pandas. Zycos. There you go. You need a Lake Brew Rama board for Nautilus R2. That would actually look pretty good, I think. I think it would. I think this sound, though, is amazing. Somebody should pop those that into there. Anyway, this thing is probably one of the highest value keyboards I've ever seen. If you're into Alice, Rukia is actually even higher value because they're similar prices. But this board was super available. There are a lot of them. You will be able to find these on the secondary market occasionally because so many were made and they're fairly recent. It looks super clean. The side profile is gorgeous. Gorgeous. Prettier than TX84 in my opinion. And honestly, it sounds good. It feels good. It looks good. The price was right. My 8X Mark II in polycarbonate, which was a little bit pricier, with an extra PCB and the 10 keypad that matches, was $502 shipped to my door. Good luck getting one of those for $500 at all by itself. I'm just saying, I got like the most expensive possible pretty much combination of things for that board, and still $500. Now so the HBCP that was up here before is a prototype, so it's a different story, but I bought in on the purple polycarbonate, the atomic purple polycarb HBCP, and I got a bunch of extras. So yes, I got all that, but that was like $900. So when we talk about value, there's no doubt that the value of this board is very high. This is a beautiful board. It sounds great. It is custom quality, even if there are slightly less desirable things about it because of the fact that it's a KBD fans board. Like, they use those tiny screws, and that may be an AIO3 thing, I don't know, but like those screws, I don't like them. One, I don't like that it's Phillips. Two, I don't like that they're really small. They could have used slightly better screws for that, for the outer case. But honestly, those are tiny gripes, and you don't take your board apart a bunch. It's just like a one-time thing. So this is super, super good. Stream image looking posh. Thanks, man. It's one of those boards you haven't seen on Top Black. But I think his switches are the best off-the-shelf premium choice. Certainly true if you're not lubing them. Box navies from Novel Keys if you prefer distinctive click. Man, Talisman, we could not agree more. Zeal stuff. Zeal's stabilizers are still great, even if everybody complains about the stab wire popping out, which can happen, but like, I've had very few boards where that's been an issue. If you're not going to lube your switches, Zealios are hands down the best. Hands down the best, in my opinion. And I agree with the box navies thing too. If you like clicks, box navies are great. They're like Alps Ambers for the MX world. Lubed Helios, this TKL. Is this the one you were talking about, or are you talking about the other one? The other one was TX84. And this is the beautiful KBD8X. Yeah, this is TX84 over here that I had up there. Yeah. I don't know. I really like this board. It makes me happy that I bought it on one, and I can't wait to build mine. Lubin black inks for your Melody 96. Melody 96 is another board where the value is really high. Really high. I like it. I hope that build goes well. Surprised about how much you like Zealios on your mod keys. Zealios are just great all around. Swizz, for the Olivia M60, do you use the Olivia colorway C3 stabs or Zeal stabs? Just use Zeal stabs or Everglides. I actually recommend Everglides. The price is better than Zeal, and they're really fantastic. I still really like Zeal Stabs though also, so I'm not going to tell you don't do that because they're great. Those are really the only two options right now, in my opinion. I would avoid the C3s altogether. What's my favorite silent switch? I don't really like very many silent switches, Shred Major, but if I were going to choose one, silence. If you like tactiles, and Helios if you like linears. Helios are, I feel, better than, if you compare Helios to Telios and you compare Xylants to Zelios, I think Helios do a better job of getting exactly where you want if you like Telios, versus where Xylants get if you like Zelios. Lubed Helios are meh. I like reading that. The irony of literally how that appears on screen is interesting to me. Lubed Helios says Helios are meh. Helios are fine. I like Helios. I like Telios more though. And I like Gat Inks. Gat Silent Inks I haven't messed with too much, but they're probably pretty good. Yeah, if you have to have a silent switch, those are the best option, probably. MX Silence or MX Silence even are okay. They're passable. But yeah, Telios aren't too loud, and if you lube them well, fairly heavy lube on them, the sound quality is pretty appealing in my opinion. Often do they come out with new versions? They've come out with some new like aesthetic options, but in terms of like a fundamentally new design, there's only been 2 fundamentally different designs on Zelios, right? There's Zelios and Zelio V2s. We're on V2s. You got more tactile, basically, is what happened. Zeal is the way to go. Zeal makes great switches. Talisman really did say it right up there when he said that off the shelf, they're just like the best switch available, period. That's, I mean, I couldn't say it better. It's just true. Yeah, there are small incremental changes, like, oh, Sakurios came out, or whatever. I mean, whatever. You can change the springs to all you want, like, do whatever you want. But fundamental designs have basically remained the same. Dip your switches in 205 if you want silence. I mean, don't like dip the whole switch in there, or the whole stem just bloop in the tub and like pull them back out. GMK Ashes tomorrow, Swizz, yes. And GMK Ashes is muy bueno. Definitely get it. I'm gonna take your word for it. Vogon PT, I have not actually played with the koalas, so I'm not gonna comment on them too much. Hoping the hot swamp PCB in your kit has holes for the PCB mount switches. Yes, and that's the way I feel about clipping switches too. Like, that's one of the biggest drawbacks to most hot swap boards, IMO. Like, I almost couldn't. I hate it. I hate clipping switches. Raincoat mod. Dip that switch like it's fondue, but you typed on an amazing silent tactile board the other day. It was MX Silence with Raincoat mod, which made it tactile. Raincoat mod. Hold on. MX Silence with Raincoat mod. What's Raincoat mod? Yes. You will sponsor a stream to bag lube your ex in a vat of chicken fat. Oof, dude. I mean, everybody has to be a willing participant. That's all I'm saying. Oh, chicken fat. So gross. It's the only downside to like eating chicken wings in my mind is like your fingers get all gross. I'd literally rather have 205 grade 0 on my fingers than chicken fat. Seen some guys throw their spring in a bag of lube. Thoughts on that? It's the way to do. It's literally the way to do. Shred major. I mean, I prefer in a tub than in a bag, but same concept. You love MX Silence and Silence. Yes, I agree, dude. I agree. They're great. They're great. They're fun. I like them. I'm a tub lube proponent, but sure, bag, same kind of diff. Chicken lube on your switches are 205 grade 0. Chicken lube on my switches would be much better than 205 grade 0 on your chicken because I don't want to eat 205 grade 0. Super gross. Do I lube the top housing? Nope. Stem and springs only. 205 on your toast. Oh, yeah, this is an interesting conversation, Delphin. It's going a little too far toward not pleasurable topics. It's all about lead solder. It is all about lead solder, BBB. No joke. No joke. Pizza grease on linears. We're gonna have to do something silly someday, like what you're talking about, just like something outrageous. But it's not gonna be today. Guys, thank you guys so much for being here. This has been a really fun day. We're going on 3.5 hours, and I think it's about time. I do want to see who else is streaming because, you know, we always need to know that. Always give that raid to somebody. Quantric is on, I guess, right? But he's not streaming a game. That's okay, we could do that. Yeah, thank you so much. So before we do any of that, please, if you have not done so already, please go ahead and give that follow. I hope that you guys come back, and I hope to see you guys soon. I'll try and do more EU friendly streams. I think that I need to do some more Sunday morning stuff instead of maybe Sunday afternoon, because, well, it's fun. It was a great stream time. Quantric is on, but now we're listening to him. Kill that for a second. Yeah, so the next stream is gonna be Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Which is the usual Pacific time, so it's totally not EU friendly. But maybe I'll think about making my Sunday streams earlier. This has worked out pretty well, and I definitely want the European audience to be able to participate some. My Sunday streams don't have a set time yet. I'm still doing them, obviously, trying to get them on there, but I'd like to let you guys get on a little more. Anyway, so also go ahead and go off to my YouTube and my Insta and you know, hit me up. Sub on YouTube, follow on Twitter and on Instagram, especially Insta. And I can't wait to catch you guys next time. Thanks for joining. And now we're gonna go off and we're gonna raid Quantric, I think. Unless anybody's got another streamer going. Talisman, do you know if there's anybody else? Oh, Talisman. Thank you. Star Fox, thanks, man. You have a good day. Yep. Okay, well, Quantric it is. You guys enjoy, and I will catch you on Wednesday. Bye.